Chapter 7. Charles and Lizzie stared at their father. What? Charles asked. Somebody already called? Lizzie said at the same time. Dad! Charles wailed. Just then Rufus chased Goldie right into Charles. Oh! He said, bending down to pick Goldie up. He held her tight. Nobody's taking you, he whispered into her ear. It's too soon. Charles, I know your mom talked to you about this, but we agreed that we'd keep Goldie only until we found her a good home. His dad reached out to pat Goldie's head. Who's a good girl? He said softly. Charles could tell his dad that Goldie did not want to go either. But how do we know if it's a good home? Charles asked. We interviewed them, that's how, Lizzie said. I already did some scientific research on this, and I downloaded a questionnaire that we can use. Dad looked a little surprised. Well, that's interesting, Lizzie. But I'm really not sure that's necessary. These people sound very nice, and do they have a fenced-in yard? Lizzie demanded. Do they understand the natural needs of a puppy? Is someone going to be going home most of the day? Is someone going to be home most of the day? Now, Dad looked very surprised. You know, he said, those are actually very good questions. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to ask some of them. Charles still couldn't believe it. They were going to have to give Goldie up. But Dad, he said, can't we keep her? Please? Dad shook his head. A full-time dog is a lot of responsibility, he said. Now, if we were talking about a cat, he said, your mom might feel differently. Charles knew Dad was trying to make him smile, but he just couldn't. Okay, said Dad. Look, we have to get home. They'll be here any minute. He glanced over at Rufus, who stood panting next to Sammy. Rufus' eyes were bright as he stared up at Goldie. His tongue was hanging out as he panted happily. He obviously wanted to play some more. Is that the dog you were telling us about yesterday? Dad asked Sammy. He sure doesn't look bored and lazy. Exhausted, maybe, but not bored. As he picked up the new leash, Sammy smiled at Rufus. I know, he said. He's like a whole other dog. He liked playing with Goldie. Rufus licked Sammy's hand. I bet your dad will be happy. He knows he misses his old sidekick. I used to see them out running together early in the morning. Dad snorted. Did walking home. Come on, guys, he said. We need to get Goldie home so she can meet these folks who want to adopt her. Mom was mopping the kitchen floor when they walked in. Hey, she said. Watch the footprints. I don't want these people to think we're slobs. Mom, Lizzie said, it doesn't matter what they think of us. I know, her mom said, but they sound like a sweet older couple. They want to take Goldie with them in their RV when they head down to Florida this winter. Older couple, Lizzie asked doubtfully. RV, Charles asked. He definitely knew that was a tiny house on wheels, not a safe place for a young Golden Retriever. Goldie needs a home where she can run around, Lizzie said. She's going to need lots of exercise. Look at her. She's been playing around for an hour and she's not even tired. It was true. At this moment, Goldie was bounding after the bean. He had found her ducky and was toddling away as fast as he could. Goldie grabbed hold of one of the wings and the bean sat down with a bump. Everybody wait for a second. Was he going to start crying? No, but the bean just laughed his googly laugh. Just then the doorbell rang. Nobody ever used the front door, much less than the doorbell. Oh, that must be them, said Mom, wiping her hands on a towel. I'll get the interview forms, Lizzie said. She dashed upstairs. Charles followed his parents to a door. The Bean and Goldie followed Charles. There was a long, boring round of introductions as the people. A tiny gray-haired lady and a tall, stoop-shouldered, bald man came in and sat down in the living room. We are so excited about having a little puppy to keep us company, the woman said. Well, here she is, said Mom. This is Goldie. She picked up Goldie and brought her over to put in the lady's lap. Why, isn't she adorable, said the lady. But Charles noticed she sat Goldie down back and forth without even kissing her once. Hey there, little champ, said the man bending down to give Goldie a hearty pat on the ribs. Aren't you a sturdy little thing? Goldie wondered who these people were. Why were they here? Her people were being nice to these new folks. So Goldie tried to be nice too. She put her paws up on the man's knee and barked happily. Goldie, said Mom. She usually doesn't do that well, she said to the people. She's very well behaved. Charles stared at his mother. Was she really thinking about giving Goldie to these people? Lizzie pounded down the stairs with some papers in her hand. Got it, she said. She plopped down in a chair. Do you have a bed prepared for Goldie? She asked without waiting for an introduction. Lizzie, Dad began. This is Mr. But she rushed right away. Is your house puppy-proof? Which one of you will be the primary caretaker? Have many of you looked into a puppy kindergarten class? Which vet will you take Goldie to? Lizzie wasn't even waiting for answers. Not that it mattered. Charles could honestly see that the man and the lady were not obviously about the answer. The lady who looked from Lizzie to her husband. Well, I never! She grumbled. And the man just sat there with his arms crossed and eyebrows raised. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, said Mom. Please don't mind my daughter. You seem like very nice people, and I'm sure. Just then Goldie took the cuff off the man's pants in her teeth and started to pull, growling a little as she shook it back and forth. Arr, arr. Suddenly there was a loud ripping noise. A surprised Goldie. He sat back, holding a shred of material in her mouth. The man's eyes grew wide. His wife stopped grumbling, and Charles burst out laughing.